beings, extraterrestrials, ghosts, all these type of things. And yeah, how to have a little bit of caution when it comes to these type of entities, because I find within the New Age community there's a lot of openness to these beings in a way that could be portrayed as a little bit careless, in my opinion, because we're opening ourselves up to things we don't fully understand. And I'm not saying I'm an expert here. I don't know everything about these beings, but one thing I have learned is most of them that interact with humanity and give messages and channel through and do all these things have agendas, and they're not as benevolent as they make out to be. Some of them might be neutral, but I don't think they're the true benevolence, and I think we need to be very cautious. And I've learnt this lesson the hard way through my life, because when I was younger I had a lot of interaction with especially extraterrestrials, ghosts as well, even fairies, but having weird light ships follow me around pretty much everywhere I went. I was seeing them pretty much every day, and I was having weird experiences where I was being pulled out of my body, my etheric body, and I'd wake up lucid, being floating above my body, like my astral body, looking down on myself and being pulled up into ships. I even had one experience where I woke up on a cold table surrounded by Zeta Greys. I used to have a lot of battles with reptilian beings and interface with factions like the Palladians and yeah, like a few other guys, Assyrians and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just very cautious now, and I do a lot more things to protect myself, protect my energy field, fortify my energy through certain practices and self-care. And one of the major things was actually learning that I don't need these beings, you know, because embedded within humanity, and this is something I've spoke about in other videos, is savior programming, where we think we need these beings to help us, that they're going to give something to us that we don't have, or they're going to fix this situation that we're currently in with this collective kind of predicament of the imbalances and all this kind of thing. Like, we're looking to these alien factions because a lot of them do give the illusion that they're there to save the day. So yeah, the moment I made that realization within myself that I don't need these beings, that I'm drawing a boundary line from them to me, and that I'm not going to trust them. I'm going to be very discerning. They did drop off. They did stop coming to me. They stopped communicating. They stopped pulling me out of my body. I was also doing other things to strengthen my energy field, practicing certain like modalities. For example, yoga and martial arts has been really helpful. Breath work, purifying my body. So a lot of entities and stuff get an inroad when you're using certain substances, or you're not eating very well. This can really open up our energetic field to these different etheric beings, astral beings. So yeah, the moment you start to actually look after yourself and put in that intention for self-care, and that intention to heal your body, you will notice that you won't have as much interaction. I still do have dreams sometimes where these beings come, although I have a lot more ability to be lucid and create that boundary line when they do arise, or defend myself if I need to. When I started martial arts, I noticed that actually carried on into the dream realm, and when I encountered some malevolent aliens, which were, yeah, pretty spooky looking, triangular like bodied kind of beings with these scary faces. They were kind of like the predator alien. I was able to use those abilities that I was learning in physicality, in the astral, in the dream realm, to defend myself. And also, another thing that really assisted with these beings was moving out of fear and cultivating courage, which has been a journey and a process for me, an ongoing thing, although now, in my current situation, I feel I have a lot more courage than I've ever had in my life, which is really, really awesome. And I want to inspire others to get to that point. And like I said, things like the martial arts, the yoga, the doing self-empowering activities, creative activities, eating well, priming the prima materia, which is our physical body and our spiritual body, our emotional body, catharsis, releasing things. There's certain like energetic techniques and physical techniques to release trauma out of the body, release stagnation. We can consciously do this with our intention and our action. So yeah, through these processes, we can actually, we can heal a lot and cultivate a lot of strength and courage. And when we give off that energy, when we resonate on that level, it makes it harder for these beings that feed on fear to come close to us. Even those false light ones that will appear to be, you could say, angelic or beautiful, like when I had interface with the Palladians, for example, they look very attractive. They're very tall, they're very chiseled. These particular faction, I don't know, there's probably lots of different Palladians, but they looked very appealing, but they were telling me to do things and they were manipulating me in ways that now in retrospect I say that is not cool, and I do not allow anything like that in my field anymore. And if it did come into my field, if any beings like this do come to me again, I'm not going to take on what they say, and I'm going to draw a boundary line. And they know that because they're telepathic, so they've actually stopped even attempting to mess with me in that way and trick me. Because the false light's a big one. There's a lot of people out there saying, the Galactic Federation are coming, or the Ashtar Command, or these guys, and they're going to save the day, and they're going to do this, and they're working around doing all these magical, amazing things for humanity, and we just have to trust them and let them into our field and open up to them and all this stuff. And I'm just putting out that warning that that's actually quite dangerous, believing that stuff. Even though I know these factions are there, I don't think we should play into their narrative at all. We need to create our own narrative. We need to create our own mythos. We need to reconnect with ourselves and know thyself. And that is part of that process of fortification of our field as well, is knowing thyself, is learning about who we are. And that's shadow and all. That's integrating the shadow, transmutation, and that's that alchemical process. And learning about that, and how we can partake in that alchemical process within ourselves. So what do we need to purge? What actions do we need to take? How can we stand in our power? How can we cultivate the courage? How can we reverse these polarities and remove these implants and stuff like that? Because a lot of these aliens are using implants in people to manipulate, to control. There's a lot of mind control, there's a lot of deception, there's a lot of nothing's what it seems with these beings. So in my opinion, I'm not taking any of them on. I'm not going to believe anything any of them say. I'm just going to go with my own, intuition, my own like higher self or inner self. The only thing I'm going to connect with is the earth, because I am part of her, and the 4 elements, because that is part of the earth, that is part of my body, that is part of my spirit, and also source energy, or whatever you want to call it, which is part of me as well. And I strongly suggest everyone do the same thing, and stop invoking these different beings, stop allowing them into your field, and giving consent, because they're harvesting our energy. They are using our templates, our grid works to hijack and to feed off and to ride in on and actually use us so they can be on that frequency themselves through us. Because we're actually, when we're empowered and when we are connected to source and when we have healed a lot of the bullshit, we are way more powerful than them. And they don't want us remembering that. Because there's this whole narrative too, that I see promulgated a lot, that the aliens created us, and that, you know, we are just their slaves, or we're just like a, you know, a mix of all of them, you know, but they're like our mummy and daddy kind of thing. And that I don't agree with. I do agree that there's been some kind of genetic manipulations over time, and that humanity does have a lot of different stellar genetics from all different star nations. I'm not going to contest that. I fully agree with that we all hold those stellar genetics. But I don't want to give them credit for creating the human form. I feel the human form is ubiquitous throughout different dimensions and worlds and universes. And it is the vessel for creation. It is the vessel for consciousness in this form, and in a form that can actually like ascend to a higher level of wisdom and gnosis. So yeah, I don't even know if there was a creation point. I feel like we've always been here, or if we have been here, we've been here for billions of years. And if we haven't been here on Earth, we've been elsewhere. We've been in Lyra, we've been on Meldeck, we've been on Mars, or wherever we've been, you know. This human form wasn't created by the Anunnaki. They may have spliced around with us, just like now, you know, they're genetically engineering all different things, humans, animals, foods, but these beings cannot create. They can only simulate, they can only modify, they can only imitate. They can't actually create. And what we have, our consciousness, they did not create. It goes way, way beyond anything they're capable of. So, yeah. I don't want to spend this whole video just bagging out aliens. Because, you know, of course, there are benevolence as well. I don't think they have a lot of interaction with this world, this physical reality, to be honest. And the ones that have maybe incarnated here. They may be human now, but they might have had past incarnations in other worlds, universes, planets, whatever. That's quite possible. I have memories of this myself, where I've had other incarnations in other places. But we're here now, we're human. We have an incredible consciousness that we're just discovering its capabilities. So I think we need to stand in our power and stop looking to these other beings, these astral beings, these entities, these false light beings, you know, these beautiful alien savior programming things, these kind of narratives, and really stepping into our own power and taking responsibility for ourselves and owning our shit and saying, I'm here now on this earth at this time, this very important time. And I think a lot of beings in the galaxy would give a lot to be in our position, even though it's not easy and it can be quite a perilous time as well with everything going down. It's also a great gift, having a human form, having our consciousness, our potentiality, our capabilities are beyond what most of us even realize or remember right now. But our ability right now is to remember, to reconnect, to empower ourselves, to heal ourselves, to draw a boundary line with these beings and say, if you're having interface with these beings, you know, just be discerning, be cautious, kind of take everything they say with a grain of salt. Listen to your own intuition, your own heart, you know, when you get these messages. Be wary of channeling. You know, you don't need to channel other beings to get divine wisdom. You can find that within yourself. When you're connected to your core, you don't need to look to these entities to get all the answers. In saying that, you know, we have our ancestors, we have, you know, certain guides and stuff like that. Of course, just be discerning with these beings. And yeah, a lot of beings can impersonate other beings as well. They might pretend to be someone, you know, so just be careful. That's all I'm saying here. There's so much New Age stuff that's just saying, oh yeah, just trust all this and, you know, just take it all on and open yourself up, and, you know, all these beings are just there to help us, and, you know, this 5D ascension narrative, like, it's not what it seems, guys. And I don't know everything, but from my experiences, and I've had a lot of interface with a lot of different beings, my thoughts are that they're not to be trusted, basically. And the only person I can trust is myself. And that's what we need to learn, how to trust ourselves again, and how to remember and to forgive and heal these timelines. And yeah, this is a really important time right now. So each of us, if we can make that transition into a higher state of consciousness via the alchemical process, via purging the shadow, via this transmutation, and stepping into our power, into our full potentiality, being empowered, being strong and energetically fortified, and not being fed off by these beings, I think we can really impact the Earth's grids and shift the entire frequency of the planet and actually create a real planetary ascension, not this like false light narrative ascension, which is a lot of like disembodied narratives, you know, and savior programming. If we want ascension, we've got to fucking do the work, and it's not easy. You're gonna have to face some really fucking hard shit about yourself, and you're gonna have to like really be honest, and it's a process. And you think you get to a certain point where you're like, I'm healed, I'm awesome, and then something else comes up. So yeah, you have to be gentle and have compassion and persistence and discipline and dedication, and if you fall off your horse, get back on and keep going. I hope this makes sense. It's just a little bit of a thought of the day. I just thought it would be good to put a video out there, just